Welcome, viewers, to another featured interview here at 284 Media. I am your host, Kamal Haynes, and joining me on this particular featured interview, one of two. First, I have with me Olympian Ashley Kelly, and she's here to speak about the Conquer Within to Win Mind Over Matter Sports Psychology Workshop event, which is upcoming this weekend on Saturday. She will get to all the details in terms of the integrate details as it relates to the ins and outs of this particular workshop, as well as what you, the residents, can look to come out and enjoy this Saturday right after this quick commercial break.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
Welcome back, viewers. As mentioned prior to the break, I have with me, as you can see, the lovely Olympian Ashley Kelly. Welcome to 284 Media, and thank you for joining us here on our platform yet again.
Yes, thank you for having me, Kamal. I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
Yes, and we're here to speak about the sports psychology workshop this Saturday. Just give us all the details, in terms of what the residents can look forward to expect.
Well, it's an athletes forum, so it's catered to and targeted to athletes. So it is this Mind Over Matter, Conquer Within to Win athletes forum and sports psychology workshop. We have the Dr. Michael Turnbull, which is a successful psychologist here in the British Virgin Islands, as well as our top elite athletes. We have Olympian and Olympic finalist, Pan Am gold medalist Chantel Malone. We have our legendary Kyron McMaster, our world silver medalist, and we also have our all-star from the European Great Britain Championships, Kennard Dawson. So we have a star-studded panel and also a star on our keynotes as our keynote speaker. So it's going to be exciting.
And we see the star-studded lineup, and I see also there's an aspect of virtual to it as well. Speak
Yes.
about that as well. Who will be virtually?
So there's a number of our athletes that are away training right now, but we still want them to be able to have the access to this amazing forum. As the chairman of the Athletes Commission, our first events were all during COVID, like right around COVID time, still virtual. So this is our first in-person forum. And I still want to have that aspect so that all the athletes from away and abroad training can still have access to the forum as well.
And in terms of that virtual in-person dynamic, in terms of the persons who do attend, will they have an opportunity to speak to the athletes as well?
Yes, so Chantel and Kyron will be joining us virtually, but we have a really good setup. It's a good setup where you'll be able to see the athletes, they'll be able to interact with you. We have Kennard Dawson here in person, and of course, Dr. Michael Turnbull will also be in person as well. So even though that they're not in person, you will still have that full experience.
And speak about the origins of this particular program. What would have decided, or who would have came up with the idea to host this workshop?
So as the athlete chairman for the Athletes Commission, one of the things that the International Olympic Committee wanted to give the opportunities to athletes to have their voice, to have resources that help them off of the track or their field of play. So now, as I am the chairman, I wanted to make sure that I am using my platform to provide those resources that I wish that I had as an athlete. One of those things was access to a psychologist. Any of the elite athletes that you talk to will tell you that when you're stepping into that field of play, when you are getting ready to go onto the line, you can psych yourself out and lose the race before you even get it. I have to use track references. I'm a track athlete. But you can lose that race before you even step on next to your competitors, and that's all in your mind. So one aspect of sports psychology helps you with garnering those techniques, those characteristics that you could really put into practical work and to help you manage those feelings of anxiety, those feelings of self-doubt, all those things that can really hamper your performance. So you could be training hard, hitting all your times, your targets on the field, but if you don't have it right in your mind, then it's different. And access to really good, credible, knowledgeable psychologists can be expensive. You know, we talk a lot about the funding when it comes to sports, etc. This is something that is free, accessible, and you don't have to dig into your pocket to get it. So those are some resources that I really wanted to make sure that the athletes had.
And it's critical that you mentioned that, because generally when you look at some of the best athletes, the most successful athletes in the world, they always speak about mental toughness as well. So I guess this will help to prepare some of the local athletes, especially those younger ones, to at least anticipate what they could expect and also how to cope with it to some extent.
Yes, definitely the coping mechanisms. Apart from just the sports psychology aspect, being able to interact with successful professionals like Dr. Mike, and then also your elite athletes that you see doing great things on the news, everything, just hearing firsthand from them what it takes for them to get to the level that they're at, I think is very important. It's very important for our youth to be able to see, touch, and feel people who look like them, who can talk like them, and that come from where they come from, and seeing that there are a number of avenues that you can go through. You can be a psychologist, you can work really hard to be on the elite stage, and there's other things after that that you can also go into as well.
So for those residents that are watching and tuning in and want to come out and visit and be a part of this workshop, where can they go to and any times on Saturday?
So on Saturday, we are welcoming other athletes. Official registration is closed as of Wednesday. But we are welcoming others to come in. So that just means that you can still come in, hear the keynote speaker, and you could also interact on the forum, but you won't be able to get the swag bag, the swag bag and the lunch that is included with the workshop. But you can come out on Saturday, December 16th. Registration opens at 10 a.m. We start at 10:30 and Dr. Mike starts at 11 o'clock. Then we'll have a short, brief lunch, and then the forum starts at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So everything will be finished by 2 o'clock.
By 2 p.m. And as you said, persons, and you just spoke about registrations. Can you provide any figures to how many persons have registered so far?
So now we have over 50 people registered. So that's in person, and then we also have another 15 virtually. And then that's not excluding the panelists.
You said 50 people.
50 persons in person.
So at least 65 to 70 people in total, plus those persons who tend to always come in last minute.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is. It was really important to have pre-registration because I have to make sure that, of course, the event's going to go on, but also a run of show. Also, I wanted to be able to give practical items to the people who are coming in, so that you can journal after, you can maybe jot down notes, and then there's also apparel, etc., and then also lunch, because I don't want you to come in and then halfway through you're tired or burnt out or anything. It's a workshop. It's interactive. It's immersive. So you have everything there.
Okay. And lastly, I just want you to just further encourage the BVI residents to come out and support the workshop come this Saturday, December 16th.
Yes, if you haven't registered, it's completely fine. You can still come out. Make sure that you take the opportunity to listen to our successful panelists. We have Dr. Mike. And we also have our elite athletes. Like, you don't get to see them every day. You don't get to ask them the burning questions that you really, really want to ask them. And here's your opportunity. I do also want to really extend my gratitude to Dr. Mike for really being enthusiastic to come and talk to the athletes, to really help us, and then also our elite athletes. They're working around the clock. Chantel and Kyron are getting ready for 2024. Kennard is on his vacation, so just to be able to commit and dedicate your time, I think is very, very, I don't know. It's just like, I'm very happy that they were able to extend their time, because, there's a lot of things going on, and for you to just come out and say, like, I'm willing to do something like this for our youth, I think we need to see more programs like this.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ashley Kelly, for sharing your time, and obviously, trying to get athletes to come out, trying to get residents to come out this Saturday to benefit from this free program.
Yes, and then emphasis on free, right? Yes, free really program. Come out, get, be a part of this immersive session. There's nothing like it here, and there might not be another one for another year. So really come out, take part, and then just like soak up all the goodness that you will, take part that day.
Okay, great. Viewers, when we return, we will have with us Dr. Michael Turnbull, the lead psychologist here in the territory, to speak on this workshop.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye, this thing got me one way that day.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit, I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hop. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back, viewers. As promised with me, I have joining me Dr. Michael Turnbull. He's a clinical psychologist here in the territory and owner of the Wellness Center. You'll be a critical component of this upcoming workshop as well. I want you first to speak about this sports workshop and what would have basically gotten you to decide, you know what, let me contribute my service. I know you generally give back to the community. What would have made you decide to give back to this particular program?
Well, first, I want to thank Olympian Ashley Kelly. And I think we've seen each other in passing, but for her to reach out to me, first of all, and the BVI Olympic Committee to talk with the athletes, I think it's an amazing privilege that anyone should jump at if they have an honor to serve your country. There's no greater pride, and all of us has felt pride when we've seen our athletes perform on a world stage. And watching Karen, for example, these last couple moments have inspired us in our own area. If you were able to pan over, you see this TV here, our office, all of us will gather in this same room and watch our athletes perform. So what it does for our humanity, our inspiration, our hope, our just general sense of pride, sports has always been a central part of what we do. You know, so me being able to add back this little portion of my gifts to these future amazing Olympians to come, I won't have it any different way. So I want to thank the BVI Olympic Committee, thank Ms. Kelly for inviting me and having me there. I'm looking forward to Saturday. We have an interactive forum coming. Now we're talking about the mind and how that, in terms of sports psychology, as a clinical psychologist, although there are sports psychologists that just do sports psychology, in my clinical psychology practice, I was exposed and had some really, really great opportunities to interact in terms of sports psychology and how your mind is able to get you to the finish line, how your mind is able to get you to win, and being able to offer them some tools, not just in their minds, but things that they can walk away from. Some mindfulness breathing, some exercise, ways to be able to view the end before they see it. One of my talks that I've done in the past is start with the end in mind and working towards that. So we're looking forward to seeing these amazing athletes. Athletes are like the pinnacle of humanity to some extent, because when you get it right, your mind, body, soul, spirit is all in sync at once. And if you think about the most elite athletes, they have, as Ms. Kelly mentioned before, a whole team of behavioral psychologists. They have nutritionists, they have trainers, they have all these people around them, because when all that stuff is finished, the battle is in your mind. Yeah.
Excellent. And in terms of this service that you will offer, I know even though it may not be, it's a one-day session, I'm sure athletes could learn so much from you within whatever time it is that you have there to share with them.
Well, the great thing is they're going to be able to walk away with resources and places, and even for them younger ones, some really people on Instagram to follow that will allow them to continue to be inspired, allow them to shape their minds, allow them to read books and have resources to allow them to get that elite level. Your battle's in your mind, and you being able to harness, control, and expand your mind beyond what you could dream or hope and imagine allows you to just do it. Like when you watch Kyron's last post interview, when he beat Wahome. He said before, he said, I didn't really change much in my training. What I did is I just went out there and stopped thinking. I just let myself go. In those moments, you trust yourself to just be excellent. So all the training, all the practicing, all that stuff is so important. But when you come to that stage, at that moment, you just trust yourself and let yourself be. You be in the moment. One of the great books, that The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, talks about just being in the present moment or learning mindfulness, but we'll make it in a way that's relatable. And even if you're not an athlete, if you're a parent and you want to come out and support your kids, like some of these things will allow your kids to be in that moment as well. Because if you think about it, any sport, my children play soccer, to run track and all this stuff. Then they're out there and people cheering, there's a pressure. And how do you concentrate and be amazing in that time? And most of the times people who have been elite athletes end up being elite business people, elite parents, and just elite in their community because they've learned intangible skills for success.
Yeah, as you said, it rolls over to not only, it doesn't only stay in sport, but it rolls over to your personal life as well. So what is your ultimate goal as it relates to this Saturday that you would like to take away from this event?
My ultimate goal is to be of service. My ultimate goal is that athletes leave there with tools that they can tangibly take them to help them go to the next level. And I see it as if it's a portion of me being able to be a part of that, just that one day. And I'm saying this to Miss Kelly, like, to be as any point of a source of knowledge, inspiration to help in that region, I'm more than willing to do it because it's something that we need to be able to do for our country. And if it's just a small part, I'm not out there on the track with them. I'm not lifting the weights. I'm not doing the 4 a.m. Wake ups and stuff like that. I'm not there, but there are things that we can do along the way to help. And even if someone is just having the anxiety of feeling the weight of representing your country, that that, see, our country is unique. You have 30-some thousand people who are watching you. Whereas you go to other countries, they have so many athletes, it doesn't really matter. Like Des Moines, for example. I was one of the people that was privileged to go and see him in Miami. And the level of pride that I felt and just being able to talk to him and him saying, just keeping my mind in the right place, staying focused, making sure I take away some of the negativity and just being, that's where the mind is important. So I want to do a little part of being able to offer tangible skills, tools, and some level of inspiration that could stick in their heart and stick in their minds to allow them to elevate from wherever they desire to go.
Before I let you go, I want you to speak on of the aspect of mental block. I know, for example, as a clinical psychologist, we see how it affects us in our personal life. Ashley would have just spoken about how you can be defeated before the race even begins, or based on how you are mentally. Speak about the aspect of mental block and how important it is to first recognize it and then seek the necessary help to then get it treated.
Yeah, so mental blocks happen in all aspects of our lives, right? Not just athletes, but if you think about if you're an elite athlete or someone performing, that could be very damaging for you showing your full potential. It's basically what it describes. It's like your mind can't see past where you currently are. Like, for example, your times in practice show that you're in the top 3. But when you get out there, you get intimidated by their physique or how they're warming up or something that some athletes may say to you. That's a part of competitive sports that sometimes it's not that friendly. It's collegial, but people may get to you. So now you put in your mind that you limit yourself and you can't see yourself beyond that. So your body now conforms to where your mind is. And being able to work through that mental block is being able to see yourself past where you currently are. It's kind of like faith, hope, like being able to not escape that moment and see yourself, actual visualization. One of the things that we're going to do is there's a couple books and some people have different feelings about it. The book called The Secret. Now, I did it in my own personal life on several occasions. It's not just imagining yourself winning a gold medal. It's to the point where you actually take the time to embrace yourself, how it feels going around your neck, how the sounds are, what you're gonna do, like your life in that. You're actually believing beyond where you currently are. And that sometimes people can't believe beyond where they currently are. That's the block. Because if you can't see it, if you can't believe it, if you can't embrace it, that's blocked off and that doesn't become your reality. So we do it all in our lives. Like we think that we're always going to be in this situation, always going to be in that circumstance. And that's that block. And we want to give our athletes and people in the community permission to give yourself like, man, we can make it past this. I know what's on the other side of this and I deserve to do it. And just when coming from a small country is one or two things you do. Is either you have that tenacity, like, yeah, I'm from Tortola, we're from a small place from the BVI, but we have something great within us and nothing can stop us. So it breaks down those walls and those barriers of being the first. Or you can allow that we don't have all these things, we don't have all these resources, and now you allow that to stop you from being the first. Like Demoy couldn't have done that. Kyron beating Victor Warholm, it's like amazing. I can't wait for Olympics of next year because you could see, I mean, at least for me, observing as a fan, right? As a fan, I'm a being biased fan. Where his mind is, for example, is amazing. Where Kennard Darson is, watching him play and I watch some of the reruns of the games and watch him perform at elite level is amazing. Like, so we have what it takes. It's for us to believe beyond what we currently see. And so we could be able to shape past that. It'll be amazing. If we, as what Miss Kelly and the BVI Olympic Committee are doing, for those young people who may hear it at 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and they put that in their mind that they're a gold medal athlete, that's all they know. So that doesn't become a block. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, on that note, I want you to further encourage residents to come out and benefit from this psychology and sports workshop this Saturday.
Well, listen, BVI, like you've heard from Olympian, I'm not, just like, being an Olympian is an amazing accomplishment, first of all. Like, just getting to that stage there. It's a limited, there's 7 billion people in the world. There's only a couple thousand people that make it to the Olympics. So she's going to be there offering her skills, her time, her talents, and energy. If you have a young person in the house who is on a teeter-totter of being an athlete or want to be an elite athlete, go to the next level, or just need to be inspired, bring them out. Like, this is designed for you. Because next year, we're going to be talking about our first Olympian medalist. And I'll say gold medalist, because I sincerely believe that it's possible. And having an opportunity to talk to them now and be able to embrace and learn from what, in that kind of environment, a positive, enriching environment, bring it out. Be inspired before the year. And so you go into this track season in January just ready to break down barriers and break records.
Well, viewers, you would have heard from Dr. Michael Turnbull, clinical psychologist and owner of the Wellness Center here in the British Virgin Islands. And we also previously spoke to Olympian Ashley Kelly. It's all about the mind of a matter conquer within to win psychology and sports workshop this Saturday, December 16th. Here in Tortola. So viewers, with all that information, you would have heard how Dr. Turnbull would have spoken. Imagine if he gave you this amount of knowledge within this minute space, what you can basically see for yourself once you come out and support on Saturday. So until next time on Kamal Haynes, come out on Saturday and support the athletes and also get that knowledge in mind. Who knows, you will be the future gold medalist of the British Virgin Islands.